Back in 2018, we launched a Parabolix Black Edition rods. Brilliant range of rods because they covered all your fishing situations. And now for 2024, we're introducing a new range, the replacements for those. And these are going to be the Black Edition Pro series. Fantastic range of rods. And believe it or not, we filtered a lot of the technology down from the Parabolix Ultra 2 rods into this new range of rods. So much better, crisper blanks, better actions, lighter actions, and basically everything we could improve, we have done. Within the range, there's all your favourites. 10-foot feeder, 11-foot feeder, 12-foot feeder. There's also a 12-foot 9 distance feeder, and on top of that, we've introduced 10, 11 and 12-foot SUV versions. Now SUV stands for stepped up version, so they're much more powerful versions. They've got more power overall, especially in the butt sections, and that gives you a bit more power for casting, playing fish. So basically they're a brilliant all-round summer rod for commercial carp fishing. Two great new additions to the Parabolix Pro rod range are the 10-foot and 11-foot Ultralight rods. Now these have been designed by some of the best silverfish anglers in the country, Graham West, Michael Bultwalder, two fantastic anglers when it comes to silverfish fishing. We've been developing these with them now for the past 18 months, so there's a lot of time, effort gone into these. Now, they are superb silverfish rods, and we've got the balance of that playing action and enough power for casting a small bait-up feeder or a small feeder, just right, we think. They're perfect for venues like Tamar, Meadowlands, Barston, anywhere where you encounter small skimmers, you know, up to 2 or 3 pound or a lot of roach. The actions of these are superb, hook pulls are kept to a minimum, and they're awesome bits of kit. We paid careful attention to the tips on all Parabolix rods, especially the Parabolix Pro series. The tips use the same material as the Ultra 2 tips, so it produces a very soft action in the tip. And what we've also done with the Ultralight rods, we've included a sort of hybrid tip. So you've got a carbon tip, but the top 3 inches, 3.5 inches, you've got a glass insert in that which is spliced into the tip. So you've got the benefits of carbon when it comes to casting, however, you've got the sensitivity when it comes to silverfish detection. So when those hard days in the winter where every sort of indication on the tip counts, that's the type of tip you want to be looking at. But all the tips across the range have been improved, everything from the Ultralight tips right through to the 12-9 distance tips, where we've improved them all. We've improved materials, the guide sizes across the board. The carbon material we use across the whole series of rods is from Toray, who are based in Japan. Now they're one of the world's leading carbon manufacturers, and having access to that material enables us to fine tune each and every rod within the range. So if a rod requires more power, we can add more material without affecting the balance or the action of that. And vice versa, if a rod requires less power, like the Ultralight feeder rod, we can still use very high grade material carbons within that, but obviously having access to that material, it gives you a totally different action. So it's using a cross blend of all the materials available from Toray gives you a total different action across the rod range. Whether you need more power or less power, it doesn't affect the weight of the rod, the action of the rod, the balance of the rod, and that's why it's so important to have access to these high quality modulus carbon materials. Across the whole rod range we've used sea guides, and on the feeder rods we've used oversized sea guides. Sea guides are a very high quality guide and enables the rod to become crisper in action and faster in action. They're very lightweight, so when they're applied to the rod, it doesn't affect the balance or the overall action of the blank itself. Now on the feeder rods we've used oversized sea guides. Now these are a bigger guide overall, spaced out across the blank, and we've used these so we actually aid your casting, and they're very good for shock leaders. So when using a thicker diameter line, casting a long way, those bigger diameter guides help and aid your casting. Moving down the rod, each rod incorporates a hook keeper ring, and moving on to the handle, each one features a screw down reel hood and Fuji seat. Now the handles are quite unique. They feature a mix of cork and rubber grip. Now the rubber grip is brilliant to use in all weather conditions, doesn't rot, very hard wearing, and same with the cork. So it's easy to clean, it doesn't slip at all when you're casting, easy to put into butt vests, it grips really well, and everyone liked it off the old range. So we've kept that sort of slim down, that neat looking look that identifies it as a Parabolix rod. On the SUV range on the handle, we've incorporated a red collar and also red tippings on the whippings. And the reason for that is you can easily identify it when it's in your rod case or rod holder. So you know which is an SUV version over a standard version, so it helps with identification of the rod. In the original Black Edition range, there was 2 Wag Lods in the 11 and 12 foot version. In my new Parabolix Black Edition Pro range, there's actually 4 Wag Lods. There's the 11 and 12 foot version, which is an improved version on the original rods. Now these are ideal for pellet waggler fishing for F1s up to 3 or 4 pound, or carp up to 5 or 6 pound. A good general all-round rod. The 2 new editions are stepped up versions. We do an 11 and 12 foot version in it. Now these rods offer a lot more backbone, they're a lot more powerful. So when you're casting further, you're targeting bigger fish, 8, 9, 10 pound carp, these rods should be the ones you'd be looking at. Brilliant additions to the range, ideal for those bigger, harder fighting fish in the summer months, and they're perfect for general pellet waggler fishing. So there you go, there's an overview of the new Parabolix Pro rod range. We know we've covered everything from silverfish fishing right through to distance carp fishing. So all that's left to do for now is for you to go down to your local map stockists and go and check them out.